You've heard Mohib talk in previous videos about the importance of gathering evidence from your own communities to help in future criminal cases.
On your evidence and document, you have to clearly find out and detailed information must be submitted to the case. You are the own person for this crime. You suffered your own self. You know better. That's why the international team, lawyer from criminal court, lawyer for worldwide, they will find out the evidence and documents, but they will not as you. That's why before they come in, before submitting case, you must collect all of your evidence and documents. You must do like this. Need preparation. Preparation is very important. You have to prepare all before opening the case. It is my suggestion for your group.
However, the way that you collect the evidence is very important. Courts can only use very specific types of evidence. There's a high chance, if you don't know exactly what type of evidence they will accept, that you might cause psychological harm to people by asking about their experiences, and then that evidence won't even be able to be used in court. But ARSPH's evidence can be used in court. We spoke to Nokim, who is from ARSPH and who helped in collecting the evidence, how they did it.
At the beginnings of November 2017, after fleeing from Myanmar to Bangladesh, we are listed the person who have been killed by Myanmar government, the person who have been raped, the person who have been selected, the person who have been arrested, who have facing different kind of violence. We listed this after arriving in Cox's Bazar, Rohingya Republic in Bangladesh. Since at the beginning of November 2017, we moved to every camp and meet with every survivor and take notes, their name, how they face violence, how they face the violence, how they survive, how is their journey from Myanmar to here.
These lists of victims and perpetrators and witnesses are actually not strong evidence before a national or international court by themselves. But ARSPH spoke to us as their lawyers, and we helped them gather more information that would be strong evidence before a court. Our senior counsel, Kate, explains this process.
Hello everyone, Kate Gibson here. I'm going to talk to you today about the kind of evidence that we're hoping to collect and why. The ARSPH lists are excellent in giving us an overview, a picture of what happened on what dates and to how many people. But in order to prove a case in front of a court, lawyers are required to bring very strong and detailed evidence to prove to the judges that particular events occurred. Some evidence is better than other evidence. So, for example, a video recording of a particular event is very strong evidence. A person who was at that event and who can give a clear and detailed statement about what they saw and what they experienced, that's also very strong evidence. This kind of evidence is much stronger than, for example, reports that are written long after the events and are written by people who didn't experience the events themselves, who just heard from other people what happened. The reason that details are important is that the court often won't accept a story that comes from just one person. They're looking for what's called corroboration, so many people giving the same story. And if the people give these stories in a detailed way and the details all match up as between the different witnesses, then the court can really accept that this is how the events themselves unfolded and what these witnesses are saying is the truth. That's why it's important to collect these more detailed statements rather than just lists of what occurred. The lists themselves aren't strong evidence of what happened and when and why. It's also important to remember that the best evidence is always direct evidence. So that means the person who's giving the information is talking about things that they themselves experienced, that they themselves saw and witnessed. That's much stronger than what we call indirect evidence, where someone is saying what someone else told them. That's second-hand evidence, and it's not as strong as the information that comes directly from the witnesses themselves. So we should always focus on trying to find witnesses who can talk about what happened to them and limiting the witnesses to really discussing what they have experienced rather than what they've heard about.
So Nokim found the witnesses from the lists in the camp and asked these witnesses to provide more detailed statements. We asked Nokim what kind of questions he asked when gathering these statements from the witnesses.
We take the information from them, sees how, let's say, if a person was killed in his village, how was he killed, who did it, when did it, how did it, where did it, uh, who ordered to this. We get all the information from the witnesses who are still alive in the Cox's Bazar refugee camp.